Hi, you guys. Sorry if the lighting's bad. Today we're going to be talking about emotional support. Now, basically, emotional support is something that we all need at least once in our life to like get us through the day. Now, what I'm trying to say is I need emotional support, and frankly, my family is not very good at doing that. I mean, yeah, they support me, but sometimes it's difficult. It's kind of like it's personal to me. I really think that you know, even when things get dark, I really have someone to be there by me. But like, there's really no one. I mean, my uncle is there for me. I'm not saying the name, but let's just call him like Uncle Three. So basically, Uncle Three is very nice. He is very comforting. He's the only one who really knows how to comfort. Yeah. So basically, here's what I'm going to be talking about is emotional support. And it's not the only thing we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about some of the problems you might be facing in life because a lot of people have trauma. They've been through some things and they have trauma, emotional problems, depression, anxiety, OCD, bipolar. And you look at all these things and you wonder to yourself, like, are my problems just small? No problem is big or small. Well, problems can be big. Problems can be very big. So problems can be big, but they can never be too small. You know, because every problem is just a problem. And honestly, I feel like people's problems should all be respected, no matter how big or small it may seem. They should always be respected because comparing it can make them feel inferior. You know. So what I'm gonna be talking about is like my problems and stuff and how I wish people would support me like right now. So here goes nothing. So my problem is that I always feel like I'm the villain. Like I feel like I'm the villain. I think that I am the villain. And at the same time I don't like think that I'm a villain. Cause like everyone tells me well, okay, here's the thing. Everybody tells me, sometimes they tell me good things, sometimes they can be very angry with me because sometimes they can get physically angry depending on which person of my family you're talking about. Sometimes they can get really, really, really angry, but not physical. And sometimes it's just mental. So I really want to talk about some of these things. Number one, yes, I always feel like a villain. I always feel guilt. I don't know why. I just feel a rush of guilt at random times. Oh, shit. I'm sorry, my room's a mess. I always feel guilt at random times. And sometimes I know why, sometimes I don't. Like when I set up clear boundaries and people break them and I say no and they're all sad, like I feel guilt because everyone wants me to feel guilt. Everyone says I'm mean and everyone says I'm horrible and I like yeah. Alright, but here's the thing. I want people to stop breaking boundaries and being okay with it. Not just for me, but for everybody. People should have boundaries and people should like have people respect them. There's nothing wrong with saying no. It's something that I'm learning too because honestly, my mom has taught me that I can always say no, and that is fine. But sometimes I say no, and she's like, "What? What are you talking about? No, no, what?" Yeah. And one of my biggest boundaries is kisses. I love hugs. I love handshakes. It's just kisses that gets me. I used to love kisses. I used to really love them, and that's the thing. I'm not choosing to hate them. I genuinely never liked how they felt, but before it was kind of I would handle it better. Now I'm just yeah. And like I remember like I was at Papa's house. I was at my Papa's house, and I was like we were spending the night. I stayed there all night, and then I woke up, and it was time for us to go, and I was like I was eating pizza because my mom got me pizza, and like my granny, I think my granny, she was like, hey, I heard you were up like since blah blah blah. Yeah, what were you doing? And I was like chewing, so I couldn't really talk. So I was just like, so I pointed to the TV. She's like, use your words, and I was just like, and my mom was just like, girl, if you don't speak to your granny, and like, and I was like saying this with my mouth open and chewing my food. I was just like, bro, I have food in my mouth. I didn't want to talk with her because it's very rude. And my mom came and she's like, she still didn't talk to you? She's like, no, no, she talked to me. And I was just like, because like everyone always does that and they never apologize. Like, can we talk about that? But also, when we were like leaving, I think my mom's brother, her brother, yeah, I think her brother was like hugging her and kissing her. So I really know how to like avoid him. But like then when I was about to go, I didn't want to hug him, and he was like hugging me, and like he was about to kiss me. He kept trying to. I was just like no, and I got out of his grip, and like my mom was just like, "Don't be a stranger." And then she figured out what he was like trying to do, and she's like, "Oh, she's just, she just don't like kisses. She's a germaphobe." And then I was just like, no, I'm not. I'm not a germaphobe. If I was, I wouldn't like hugs or handshakes either. And she's just like, stop talking back with your uncle. And it's just like, no, keep that energy. It's great. And I was just like, dang, is that really what talking back is? Like, are you really just saying like talking back doesn't mean stop disrespecting me. No, it means agree with me or else. That's what it means. That's the translation. And honestly, I really hate that. Stop talking back. What does that mean? You just want me to stop talking? Like, but yeah, some of y'all have been through similar things. Some of y'all have boundaries, and sometimes people break them. And people try to tell you how you feel. This is the one thing that I hate too. So number two, people trying to manipulate you or say how you feel. So my granny is the one person who will kind of like do this. She won't manipulate me or something. I guess not. But like she will try to tell me how I feel about one thing. But here's some times where it's not really that. It doesn't really bother me. It's just kind of annoying. Here's some things she kind of does. This is why I love her. But it kind of annoys me. So sometimes it could be my birthday. Like this is an example. It was my birthday, and I was just like, I want this baby doll. It was a realistic newborn doll, and she's like, no, why don't we get the yellow one? I was just like, no, I want the pink one. And she was like, why do you want the pink one? And I was like, first of all, the baby's smiling on that one. With the yellow one, it's not smiling. And I want the pink one because it has the flamingo. And I feel like she just heard flamingo. She was like, oh, so you want the flamingo? You don't want the baby? You want the flamingo? I was like, no, I don't want the flamingo. I want the baby. And she's like, you know what? If you get that baby, all I'm going to give you is the flamingo because that's what you want. Like, seriously? I'm being dead serious, y'all. She was going to give me only the flamingo and throw away the baby doll. Are you serious, bro? But yeah, so that's why she manipulated me into getting the yellow doll. But I love you. I love you so much. But anyway, yeah. But like this is what everyone tries to do. They try to tell me how I feel. Like she's just nervous or she's just a germaphobe or she's just a little bit like she always debates everything or like they also try to tell you what you are like yeah she's just a debater, she's just disrespectful time, like bro, like honestly no one deserves to be disrespected like this and no one deserves to have to deal with this. Like it's sad, really it is. Like how are you going to try to tell someone what they're feeling and what they are in general? Like I am not what you want me to be and I am not how you want me to feel. I am me. And I don't even know what I am yet because look at this. Every time I try to separate my black clothes, look. This is just okay. Every time I try to separate my black clothes, look what happens. It gets ruined. So she comes in and just puts them all together. But that's not really bad though. But I'm just like, what am I now? Because I feel like I'm forced to be this normal girl who has the aesthetic of a normal person. I want to be goth. And she won't let me be goth either. I wanted to cut my hair. She's like, no. I wanted to throw it out and grow it out. She said, no. Everything is no. No, no, no. But when what she wants, yeah, I feel like she's kind of living through me. It's not fair. And this may be a serious topic. That's why I'm making this an adult video, okay? I'm making this an adult video. I'm not gonna say, well, actually, 16 plus. If you are 16, you can watch this, or over 16, you can watch this, but no. I struggled with sensitive topics okay, I'm not gonna say this, okay? Okay, look, okay. I have struggled just a little bit. I have struggled just a little bit. Just a little bit, okay? Okay. I have struggled just a little bit. Because, yeah, it's just a sensitive topic. But I want to do it again. And I don't know why. I'm trying to think of reasons why. Because everyone's always pushing my boundaries. I don't know. But that's another thing. When people push my boundaries. My cousins are the number one people who do it because they genuinely don't know what consent is. Because they have parents that are either too strict or just don't give them personal space or privacy. So they don't really give me personal space or privacy or respect my boundaries. Because it's a very serious thing to me. I have boundaries because I'm not trying to be like this one person who's just like, I don't like hugs because I don't like hugs. I will always have a reason for the thing that I'm making a boundary. And I feel like people are just being like, she chooses to not like kisses. No, I don't. That's like saying you choose to be allergic to apples. Yeah. So basically, my cousins came over, and this is the one thing I hate about having them over. I don't hate them. I love them with my life. I would literally give my life for them. But here's the thing. They don't know what a boundary is. And I'm not blaming them for this because people should have taught them what consent was earlier. Why can't people just teach them? Mom still hasn't taught my brothers about consent or boundaries. It's kind of sucky if you ask me because you're just kind of asking for that person to invade people's space. So I had my cousin over. We played. She started going to my room. I was like, "Oh, please don't touch anything." She started touching stuff. I was like, "Please stop," but she never stopped. She kept going. She started touching more stuff. She was just all over everything. She was touching this. She was touching that. She was touching everything. And I was just like, oh. She just kept touching everything. And I felt very nervous, and I was just like, please leave my room. And she left my room. I never yelled. I said it sternly though, because I felt like she couldn't hear me. So I was like, please leave my room. So she left, and I was just like, thank you for respecting my boundary, kinda. And she's like, what's a boundary? I was like, it's basically something that you do to give people consent. And I knew she didn't know what consent was because she didn't know what a boundary was. So I was just like, yeah. And consent is when you do something for that person. She just walked away. She literally walked away before I could even explain to her what it was. I think she just thought a boundary was a favor. Yeah, we need to get that through. But more cousins came over. Wahoo! That's the greatest gift for an introvert. But see, I'm not an introvert, but I'm not an extrovert. I think I'm just alert. But it's really because please excuse my brother screaming in the background. I think I really just don't have any of that. The same with zodiac signs. Come on, how you gonna tell me I'm a Virgo? Look at this room and tell me I'm a Virgo. You can't. You can't. I am not a Virgo. Okay, I am a Cameron. Yeah, name reveal. Woo. Yeah, my name is Cameron. Really, yeah. Yeah. but y'all can call me Jamie. Never call me Cameron. Please don't call me Cameron. And never call me Cammy. Never call me Cammy. If you call me Cammy, I will be very upset. So please don't. But anyway, yeah, back to it. More cousins came over. They started like going in my room and stuff, and they kept like testing me. So I was just like, "Can we go to the park?" And we all went to the park. We were walking there, and then my brother came along and started running behind us. So I was just like, "Great! I have to care for my brother, my baby cousin, my older cousin. I'm not my older cousin. They were all younger than me. I was older. I think the oldest one was like 9. So basically, so basically, that was that. We went to the park and went to the park. Everyone was just bouncing off the walls. The little one was climbing up a very high place. I was like, get down, get down. She wouldn't listen to me. The baby kept crying. One of my cousins kept trying to steal my scooter that I just got. And so much was going on. I was so overstimulated. Everything was just going on in one moment. So I just started like going insane. I just stopped trying. I was just still holding the baby. I was just like, dang, why are there so many and why are they never listening to me? They don't listen. I didn't know why they didn't listen because I wasn't really thinking, but I kind of know now. So like when my mom came, I was on the floor. Like I wasn't laying on the floor, I was just sitting on the floor and I was trying to gasp for air because I was so stressed because I thought one of them was going to hurt themselves. Or like they were gonna wander off because there was too many, and I couldn't really count them because there were so many that I wouldn't remember, and I barely see my cousins, so I wouldn't remember who was there, who was not, or what they looked like, or what their names were. So yeah, that was that. I was just kind of so stressed, yeah. But after that, I went inside. My cousin kept trying to ask me for my scooter. I kept saying no. This random girl started asking for my scooter. I said no. It was really hard to say no though because like every time I did say no, it would always kind of go like this. No, you don't have a choice. Even though people say I can say no. Like, why would you tell me to create the boundary just so you could break it? Here's one thing that I used to hate though too. She don't do it no more. But like she used to take this very seriously. So basically she said I could be in my room. And I was like, okay. My mom is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about my mom. She said I could be in my room. I was like, okay. And I really loved my room so much that I barely came out of it. It was like a safe place for me because every time I came out of my room, I would either get in trouble or get yelled at, and I would come in here and just talk to myself. Because every time I talked to like people, they would get angry at me. It was always just stop talking back, stop talking to me, go to your room. That's it. That is it. I'm being dead serious. Like, yeah. So she gave me the room. I was very happy. Uh, I was in there all the time, and she kind of got angry about that. So she would kind of force me to come out, and she would be like, "Yeah, you can't be in your room anymore. You have to go play with your brothers." And it was never fun for me. And I would, whenever I was like really angry, and I was just like, "Come on, I don't want to play with them." I didn't hate them. I loved playing with them, but only when I wanted to play with them. I was being forced to play with them. So basically, I was just forced to come outside for a little while, and then I would just go to my room when no one was watching, and no one would say anything about it. Until one day, where I was in my room, and my mom was just like, "You know, I can't stand you being in your room. If you're not gonna come out, I'm gonna leave the door open." And she did. She left the door open, and she's like, "Don't close it either." And I was just like, why? Why can't you never respect my boundaries? Because back then I hated when my brothers were in my room and they saw the door open. They were going to come in my room. So I did what I thought was smart. I didn't close the door fully. I just kind of left it like a little bit closed. And then my mom came in. She was just really angry. She was like, why did you close the door? I said you couldn't. First of all, that's an invasion of privacy. Never do that. Please don't. All right, kids, they need to have their phones or their TVs checked every once in a while. They need to always have like very, very consistent watching of them. But like, don't just invade their privacy. Please don't. And if you're checking, please let them know you're checking without just invading their privacy. Because what if there's something in there you don't want to see? So please just don't. Is it that hard for you to just trust in your child and say, I trust you? You know what? I'm trust you, okay? I trust you with this. Or I trust you with that. You know? Just put trust in your child, you know? So I closed the door just very slightly. She came in, she was very angry. She's like, why did you do that? I was like, I'm sorry. She's like, I'm very disappointed. Why would you close the door? I was like, I didn't. I left it open just a little bit. She's like, can you see me from that distance? Can you see me when you close the door like that? And I was like, no. And she's like, exactly. It was still closed, no matter what you try to say. She was just very angry. I started crying, so she just closed the door. Yeah. It's just boundary pushing. It's boundary pushing. People always cross the line and they don't care. You know, I just felt like making this video. Nothing drastic happened. It's just also, I don't know. I just really wanted to let this off my chest because no one lets me. No one. Absolutely no one. Except for Uncle 3. I'm trying so hard not to say his name because like it's very hard. I already revealed my name on accident. So yeah. Yeah. But also, I am going to be posting a separate TikTok video on this. So please follow my TikTok account. Please follow my TikTok account. It's called Heal Deal. It's basically just me talking about my boundaries. Sometimes it's random videos. Sometimes it's just doodles that I hate afterwards. And it's a really positive channel. Please watch it. I'm really hoping that I can get at least 50 likes or 50 followers. Please watch it. I'm begging you. And share it with as many people as you can, okay? Please. Please. I want to go live one day. I just want to be famous. But listen, okay. Here's one thing I want to talk about too. What was I going to talk about? What was I going to talk about? What was I going to talk about? Right, people assuming things. Yeah. So in my family, people just do what they want and assume that you're gonna be okay with it. Like, say for instance, you didn't like hugs. My family would just straight up hug you, and when you say you don't like that and you cry, they tell you to be quiet and suck it up and take it, because to them, that's not very good. That's not a good thing to do, to cry about something like that. It's very small, and sometimes my granny would just assume things, or sometimes she would just kind of like make up these scenarios on her head or something. She will like assume things. Yeah. But it's not a big deal because she doesn't assume things a lot. Like, I think she only assumed like 2 times. Also, excuse me. Excuse me. I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed. I hope y'all didn't hear that. But yeah. So it's not a big topic for me. And it's just assumption, so yeah. And okay. What else is there? Okay. So wait. Trying to think. I have something else I'm going to talk about too. Um. Hmm. One thing. Well, this is what I was going to talk about, but it's close enough, I guess. One thing I hate though is when like my granny will like get mad when I tell her like that I have a boundary and that she like kind of broke it. Sometimes my granny does these things to kind of get a reaction out of me. I feel like when she does that, she gets happy. Um, so I remember we were at the carnival. We were going there as like a little trip. It was like a go lucky card, and we were all so happy, especially me because I really love the carnival. We got on so many rides. However, I'm not really good with rides. I don't take rides very seriously. I don't like rides. I love rides and I don't at the same time. And here's some rides I don't like. I don't like the ring. You know the ring where like you spin and you spin and you spin and gravity or like gravity will hold you or like you have a seatbelt or something. Yeah, I hate that because when I get on it's so fun, but then I feel like I can't breathe because the constant force is like pressing me down and so I have to hold my leg up like like this so that I can breathe. And I don't like the Rockstar because it's fun at first until you figure out that it's going to go up in the sky and it's going to go round and round. Now, personally, if you've never been on this ride, you're going to be like, she's just a baby. It's just basically a faster version of like a carousel. Wrong. Am I saying that right? Carousel? I don't know. I don't care. Basically, it is not what you think it is. I felt my soul leaving my body when I went on that ride. And I was so scared. Like every time it went up, I was just like, because I really didn't like it. Yeah. And I was screaming to the top of my lungs. I lost my voice the next day. But I was on the ride. It was fun. And then after a while, I started to tell her that I didn't want to go on all the rides because I was a bit scared and it wasn't really fun for me because I was a bit stressed. So she looked at me in the eyes and she's like, come on, I paid good money for this. You're just gonna waste that money? And I hate this. It's like everything is about money. Wow, is that a plane? But like I hate this. It's like everything's about money. When it's not. I thought this was about having fun and going on a trip. No, it's all about your money. It's all about your dang money. Always about your money. Money, money, money. I was having fun. Having fun and being scared are two different things. I don't want to be scared. That's boundary pushing. I don't want to go on a ride. You know? Yeah. Yeah. Uh, but I really just didn't like it. I didn't like when she would do that to me. She would kind of like try to guilt trip me into doing what she want. I didn't go on scary rides. I kept riding the same rides again so that her money wouldn't go to waste. But you know, but here's what I'm actually going to talk about. That was just fun facts. Here's what I'm actually going to talk about. This is how she tested my boundary. So you know how I hate kisses. I also hate when people blow kisses on me or do the kissy face on me because like posing, like doing this or this, a slay girl. But like when you're like genuinely like trying to like do this or this, it kind of irritates me because I don't like kisses, and it's not fair, it's not funny, and it's not cute. She did this to me, and so like, and I was like, I don't like that, and she's like, oh girl. So like when we got home, I typed in like a text message. Please stop. Anyway, I typed in like a text message. Um, I was just like, please don't kiss me or blow kisses at me. And I really don't like that. That's a boundary. And I started saying things like, I thought this was over. Please don't do this again. Please don't start this again. So then the next day, um, she came out of her room and she was like, um, hey, Cameron, I read the text message. I just thought that was completely and utterly childish of you. And I was like, what? She's like, what do you mean what? And she's like, you shouldn't have to have boundaries. Like You're a little girl. Be happy. You're a little girl. You are a little girl. Just be happy. It is not that hard. I did not do anything to you. Like, I was just like, what? She's like, yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, really, really upset. And I started to remember I missed home. I wasn't going home because I was upset about what happened. I was really going home because I was homesick and I was not in a good mood. So I slid a note on her door, and I went to the restroom and I started just blasting music on my phone. She came in. She's just like, yeah, I guess you want to go home because you're so upset. And she's like, yeah, you can go home. And then when she read the text message again, she realized that she had read it wrong. And what I actually said was like, blah 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 blah, and she read blah 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 blah, you know. And then she realized, and she's like, oh shit, I didn't mean that. So like she went to me. She's like, I am so sorry. I am very sorry. I read that wrong. And I was just like, it's okay, but I really didn't feel like it was okay, you know. But it was always my granny who was like doing stuff like that. And like I remember one time she blew me a kiss in the new house when she was visiting, and I was just like, stop! And I didn't like really yell it. I was just like, stop! And like I was like banging the floor because I was like, please, please. And she's just like, how rude! As if she didn't really blow me a kiss right now when she knows I hate kisses. So she went to my mom. She's like, very, very angry girl, very, very rude girl, very disrespectful. I was just like, what? What are you talking about? You're just acting like you didn't cross a boundary right now. Like you really just crossed a boundary and you're blaming me for getting upset. And she does that often. Like I remember recently, it was like a few months ago. Um, she's like, she blew me a kiss. And like I was about to go home, I was in the car, she blew me a kiss. I was like, oh my goodness, please stop. She does that to get my reaction and then play victim card because she sees my reaction and my mom sees my reaction. And hey, stop that. And like, she really just sees like how I react and she can like use that against me. As if she didn't just do that. But I get really angry and my mom's just like, Cameron, and Granny's just like, come on, let's go. So my mom and Granny talk and I was just like very angry. So like when they left, I rolled out the window. I was just like, like why can't people respect my boundaries? I was just very angry. I had every right to be. And I was just like, why can't people disrespect my boundaries? Everyone's trying to push them. Everyone is trying to break them. Everyone is doing this on purpose. I was going on. I was yelling so hard I might have lost my voice. And honestly, I really can't blame myself. But also, my granny would do something really perverted, and I didn't want her to do that because she was a fellow woman herself. I don't understand how she could do this. This is technically, but okay, you know what, y'all didn't hear a thing, and I don't think y'all really saw me. Okay, that is probably technically sexual assault. SA. But sometimes she would grab my lower. She would grab my bottom, and she would just squeeze it. She would laugh, and mom would laugh too. And I was like, "Why aren't you angrier than me?" Like she never got consent. She would do that a lot back then. She doesn't do it anymore, but she would do that a lot. It pissed me off. It was so annoying. I hated it. I really did. So like I would kind of just cry, like alone. I would cry. I would be like I really hated it. And this is a sensitive topic for me as well. I really don't like to talk about these things, but I have to let them out somehow. And this might be why I want to self harm again. And forgive me for thinking this way, but I don't know if I really want to exist right now. Like I don't even know if I was like I was probably a surprise baby. Like, I don't think my mom wanted a baby at 19. So I was a surprise baby. Not only that, but I really just don't like the way I'm living right now. I feel guilty for some of the things I've done. I feel ashamed of myself, of my body. I always look at myself and I'm just like, how ugly. And every time people see me, they just tell me, like, you look like your dad. And that triggers me too, because my dad is not around in my life. You know, it's kind of just like, yeah, I, I really just, I don't like talking about these things. Which is funny because I'm talking about them now. Yeah, but she would just always touch my butt. Yeah, and that's physical, and that was not okay. You know, yeah, she just do those things all the time. Yeah, but it's fine. It's fine. But I would really hate. This is the one thing that I really have to vent about, though. Okay, like I remember I was like on my phone, in the tub, and like I was just in the shower. I started running it, and it created a bath. I have to admit that was pretty stupid. I was glued to my phone screen, and my mom came in. She's like, "What the heck are you doing?" I'm just like, I'm kind of just like, I'm bathing. She's like, "You are not bathing. What are you doing?" I was like, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of sinking in, you know. Granny always says, let the water sink in before you bathe. I was trying to do anything to get out of trouble. She's like, you don't have to like soak it in when you're in the shower. How are you even sitting in a tub right now? I was like, I don't know. And like rightfully, she took my phone away for a little bit, and she took the TV too. Anything that was YouTube, she took it away, and she said it was bad for my attention span. Honestly, even when I'm not watching YouTube, I feel like my attention span is cooked, so it's not really fully YouTube's fault. Like, yeah, it's definitely YouTube. I can admit that, but it's not fully YouTube. It's probably just the fact that I have a brain full of marshmallows and cotton candy. Yeah. But she took away my phone. I was very sad. I was just sobbing. I was like, oh, what am I gonna do without my phone? Because you know how girls are; they can't live without their phone. But uh, okay. So like for like there's this project. There was like this New Year project, and we were gonna like do a what's it called? What's it called? When you like make a goal? I don't know what it's called. I forgot. But y'all help me out. Y'all say it in the comments or something. If the comments are turned off, then boohoo for me. But it's where you make a goal and you have to complete that goal at the end of the year. So basically, what I wrote down on my goal was kind of sad, honestly. Like I can say what it read. Okay, so basically, it said, I just want to be happy. I just really want to be happy. That's the only thing I want for this year. And honestly, boo, you did not reach that goal. Yeah, yeah, boo. So the teacher called me over. She's like, "Hey, are you okay?" She was my favorite teacher. I think she was like my second teacher. But for the sake of this video getting taken down and getting canceled and me just clocking her tea and like admitting like her like entire identity, I'm not gonna do that. She's a very good teacher. I really do love that teacher. You know. Sometimes she would act a bit off, but like honestly, all teachers are NPCs anyway, so yeah. But for the sake of this video, let's just call her Miss W. Um So she's just like, yeah, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, all right, okay. So the paper's over there. You can write down it again, and after that you'll have it done. And I was just like, okay. So I finished it, and then later on in the day, I went to the counseling's office. It was like at the end of the day when it was like when I get picked up by the bus. So so she was just like, "Hi, I'm Mr. Blau. I mean, Mrs. No, not Mrs. I think she's just Miss. I don't think she's married or anything like that. So let's just call her Miss Avery because she's beautiful, and I feel like that's the name a beautiful woman should have. So Avery is just like, hi, I'm Miss Avery. I'm the counselor. Um, I just want you to be very honest with me, and you don't have to say a lot of these things, okay? And I was like, okay. And she's like, yeah, Cameron. So, what makes you sad? And I was just like, I don't know. I'm just sad. It's just like, really? And I was like, yeah. She's like, oh, what's making you sad? I was like, I don't know. She's like, oh, okay. And she's like, okay, Cameron, you don't have to answer this, but I want you to be as truthful as you can. Do you think about self harming or do you self harm? And I truthfully answered yes. Self harming doesn't always have to be a knife to the skin. It can be poking, punching, burning, etc. You can even scratch too. It's not always a knife to the skin, so don't believe that false information. And we are not attention seekers. But anyway, I was like, I truthfully answered because I thought this was my friend. She never said that she was going to tell my mom everything, and she never said that she wasn't. All she was doing was trying to get my trust. And I was just like, yeah, sometimes I poke down really hard on my skin, and it creates marks, especially when I'm angry. And she's like, okay, I want you to fill out this paper. I'm telling your parents everything. I was like, what? What do you mean? She's like, all right, goodbye, go to the bus. And I was like, okay. So I opened the file because I'm a nosy little brat, and I read everything. I was just like, oh no, oh no, no. Well, no, I don't think I got the file. I don't think I got the file until a few weeks of that. But yeah. So eventually, a few days later, um, my mom and my granny, they started to get the memo, so they sat me down. So this is how the whole thing went. Cameron, please sit down. Okay. All right, Cameron, listen. Hold up, wait. I gotta do some impressions. I gotta dress. All right, this is the granny. So basically, I heard something from the counselor. So Cameron, be truthful. Have you thought of self-harming? This is my mom. Well, you hear your granny talking to you. Answer her. Hey, blah blah blah. Calm down. Let her answer in her own time. Baby, it's fine. It's fine. It's completely normal. It's okay. Okay, we're here to validate you and make you feel safe, okay? So, and because of this, I will bring your uncle. Hey, hey, Ryo. Ryo. Wait, no. This is Ryan. This is Ryan with the controller, okay? His name isn't really Ryan, okay? His name isn't really Ryan. Oh no, his name isn't really Ryan, okay? His name starts with an R, but it's not Ryan. It's Rye. You have to guess. You have to guess. I'm not saying his name, but this is him. You know what? Fine. His name is Ryan. Yeah. Why'd you call me, Mom? What do you think of your niece? Well, she's kind. She's very smart. She's smarter than me, and I'm the uncle. You know, and she's just very blah 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 blah. Yeah, and that's all. See, Cameron, everything's fine. Okay, everything is perfectly fine. Why would she bring my uncle into this? Now my uncle has to sit here and watch me cry with my head down, pathetically. Just look at me. I look like a no one. Like, why would she bring my uncle into this? Now everything that we are talking about is his business now. I honestly want to kill myself. I honestly just think she's crying because of the phone bit. Because, like you said, you were going to take away her phone too. We both agreed, and I think she's just crying because of that. Not because we literally brought her uncle into this whole situation and made it his business. And we're talking about this like it's something that's an everyday thing. So yeah, that's how the whole scenario went. Thanks for like watching. So basically, after that, I was in the car. I had my head down. I was just sobbing. I was depressed. I was sad. I was angry. I was all of those feelings. So after a while, in the second semester of school, um, I started, but like I okay. After school, I just started to like. That's why. That's why. Okay, it's just it's complicated. I was stressed. I was angry. I was overwhelmed. I didn't have my phone. And see, the thing is, I wasn't upset about my phone being taken away. I was upset by the fact that that was my coping mechanism, and that was the only thing that wouldn't refrain to me self-harming. So I did it anyway. And plot twist, it didn't even start there. It started very, very far. And my mom, the common misconception is that the internet caused me to think this way. Wrong. It started when I was 8. No, I don't think you believe me. Yes, it did. It started when I was 8. That I mean, okay. How could I have known what self harm was at the age of 8? I shouldn't even know what it is now. Plus, just whatever. And I started to like every time my mom would yell at me, I would just like get the scissors, and I would just be like, I would cut, and then it would be like, yeah. I would also do it every time I missed how she used to treat me. I would just cut. So yeah, I got scissors too, which means it was even harder. But I would just do that. It wasn't good, but I wasn't doing it for attention. I was genuinely hurt. And even if I was doing it because I saw those videos, I wouldn't make it less of a problem because I would still have a reason for doing it. Not the video though. I would still have a reason for doing it. Not because I saw all the videos or anything like that, but because I genuinely had a problem and that the idea came into my mind so I could try to like do that. I don't want attention. Even like if I did, that would be a different problem. But no, attention is not what I want. That's not what I want. So please stop calling me attention seeking. Okay, I'm not attention seeking. I'm not trying to do this, okay? Because I want attention. I genuinely want support and I couldn't get that from my family. So now I'm going to get that from y'all. Please help me. Okay? Like I genuinely need your help. No one is helping me except for my Uncle 3. And I need your help, okay? So just please help me. Please. And after that I went to school. I forgot to wear a long sleeve because I was like half asleep, and I had to improvise. I think the teachers already saw it though, and they called my mom. They called my mom. Um, but uh, I was trying to like get a paper and say it was a bracelet. I was making like a bracelet, and I put it around my arm. And but the thing about this bracelet that was the thing that got me in trouble was it never fit. And when it did fit, I would get itchy and I would have to break it. So I just had to deal with it not fitting. Sometimes it was neither. And see, the thing is, I didn't cut on my wrist. I cut on my like lower arm. So that was a problem. So sometimes people would just see the scratches. And then there's this girl in Anna. Let's just call her Anna. That's not her real name. Just know that her name starts with an A though. So Anna, she's just like, "Hey Cameron, you don't look so good." I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She's like, "Hey Cameron." I was like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why you have that on your arm?" I was like, it's just a bracelet. But I didn't tell her. I was just in my head like saying it's just a bracelet. I was lying to myself in my own head. She was just like, please tell me, is it a bandage? Is it like a bracelet? Please tell me. I was like, it's a bracelet. She's like, okay. She genuinely just wanted to know if I was okay though. And the same day we were like going to the store. I had money, so I was gonna blow it all, obviously, because I'm a diva. So we went and I found this plush. This baby girl. Her name is Yole. And this baby girl cost like $25. So after 25 long minutes of deciding if I should get her, I decided yes, because I'm a kid, and that's what we do. And she's still in the closet right now. Forgotten. So yeah. So we were just hanging out. Everything was going so well. I was just like, yeah, this is my bracelet. Do you like it? She's like, yeah, it's a bit plain, but I like it. And we were just bonding. It was going so well. It's the first time nothing went wrong. And Granny came, and when Granny came, it all went down. It all went horribly. The moment Granny came, she was like, hey. We met up, like it was a coincidence. We just met up. And she was like, hey, I really need your help. I really need your help, blah blah blah. She was talking to my mom. That's my mom's name. And she's like, yeah, I really need your help, blah blah blah. We need to go to this like store. I think we were at like Walmart. Yeah, I need to get like food. I really need help. I really want you to split the money or something, or you to like pay for it, because yeah, I really just kind of want to save up. So my mom, of course, she was like, okay, sure, come on, Cameron. And like we drove around to, I think, Walmart. Okay, please don't cancel me, YouTube. Walmart. So we went to Walmart, and okay, and like when we got out of the car, everything was going so well, and I didn't notice that my bracelet was like seeping. Cause like yeah, so like basically like my scars were showing. So when we got out of the car, Granny just had to ruin everything and announce it publicly, like, "What's on your arm, Cameron?" And I was like, it's a bracelet," and I noticed it too, so I kind of lied to get out of it. And she's like, "No, no, 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 no! Like, I mean, what's that?" And then she pulled it down, and I turned my head away because I knew some shit was about to go down. My mom turned to me and she's like, "Cameron, what is this?" And it's like, "Mom, please, okay, it's please." It's just like, "Cameron, I'm gonna whoop your ass." And my grandma's like, "No, don't do that. Okay, you can't beat it out of her. Okay, listen, this is a cry for help. Okay, this is a cry for help." She just kept going on and on. She's like, "Why don't you stay here in the car, Mom? And I'll talk to your daughter. Okay, just try to cool off." And my mom was seriously more angry than concerned. She was going to beat my ass if Granny wasn't there. And I was just kind of like, I was just kind of crying, eyes out. Um, but we went into Walmart, and I didn't want her to talk about it because we were talking about this in front of like 100 people in one store, because Walmart is popular. I mean, come on, like Walmart is almost like the most best store ever. Maybe it is the best store. I don't know, but Walmart is goated, so everyone's gonna be there, and the prices are like kind of insane, but it's still good. So we went there, and there's like, yeah, Cameron, why did you do that? We talked about it. I was not very comfortable talking about it, and I was very embarrassed because everyone's hearing this. I was ashamed of myself, and I was very guilty. So when we were done shopping, uh, obviously I was like very happy. We went to the car, and I was like so happy the conversation was over. And my grandma's was like, "It's okay, blah blah blah," just comforting my mom instead of comforting me. And like when my mom was like driving, I think I heard us whisper something, and here's what she whispered, y'all. She whispered, "She's so stupid," and I knew she was talking about me. I just knew it. I knew she was talking about me. She said, quote unquote, "She's so stupid," and I felt stupid. I felt horrible. I was so mad at myself for making everyone else sad when really I needed a hug. I really did. And that's why I really love black. But my mom won't let me love black because she keeps letting me wear this stuff. Who wants to wear this? Who wants to wear this? Who wants to wear this? Honestly, if you want to wear that, slay girl, but I don't want to wear that. But seriously. So when I got to Granny's house, I wasn't talking. I wasn't looking at anyone. I wouldn't even look at myself. So I just got the toy that I bought, and I was just laying on the couch sobbing. I know y'all didn't ask for the sob story, but it had to come out one way or another. Um, so basically, I was just sobbing, like for like probably an hour, and like my tears kept running down my face. Like every time I blinked, even with my eyes closed, tears were running down my face. And I was just hugging my squished animal. I was just hugging her so tight. So honestly, if I ever have kids, which I really want kids, no, I'm sorry, if I ever have a kid, I'm not having kids. Kids, no. Kid, yes. I want one kid. One kid. One kid. And we can get a pet. That's gonna be their sibling. But basically, I really just like, if I have a kid, I want to be the best mom I can be. I want to validate them. If they ever do anything like that, which I really doubt, because I'm not gonna let anything happen to them, I will talk to them about it, and I will tell them that it's okay. I'll do everything that I wish people would do for me. That's it. But yeah. And the last one is invalidating my feelings. Like I remember one time my granny kissed me on the nose, and I got sick right after. And after the sun went down, I got sick, and my nose was running and everything. Like right after she kissed me too. Like she back then she would kiss me in my sleep because she thought, hey, that's better because she won't know. And yeah, that's like saying if I steal when she's awake, that's bad. But if I steal her stuff when she's asleep, that's okay. Like how dumb is that? Like, but anyway, she was kissing me when she thought I was asleep, and like she got really close to my face and she kissed my nose, and I was just like ew, and I started crying, and like later on the day, I got a runny nose, and then I went home. I don't think that's the exact scenario, but I went home after sobbing like a storm. I was just like, Mom, this happened. She did this, and my mom was just like, okay, sweetheart, I'm not saying that what she did was right. But I am going to say that my granny used to literally burn me with cigs. I was like, but like, and she would abuse me. And your granny tries to love on you and you just hate it. And I was like, but that's not. And she's like, yeah, I had it so much worse. I was like, but that's not the point. Yeah. Also, like, like, I remember one time it was my birthday and I chose to go to the skating rink. Why would I do that? So basically, everything was going well until this one kid was skating and he was facing the wrong way. Everyone was going this way and he went this way. So we clashed together and I was just like, I'm so sorry. So I went to check on him, but he wasn't there. And I was just like, oh. So I kept skating and then I like took a break. So then I was just eating pizza. Well, no, I wasn't eating pizza there. No, after that, I was skating some more. I didn't stop skating, but then I went on the place, and then my brother started crying. So yeah. Also, here's one thing that I didn't mention. It was me and my cousin's birthday, and honestly, no one was talking about me. I got gifts, but no one was talking about me. No one, absolutely no one. Everyone was just like, "You're like." I think it was my 9th birthday. She's like, you're 8. You know what? That's a big girl. You are a big girl. They're pinching her cheeks, just be like, you are such a big girl now. You're 8. And I was like, woohoo. But I'm 9. And I was just like, yeah, we know. You're 8. You're 8. And I was like, Like, I felt a little jealous. And the thing is, after that, we had a vanilla cake. And then my uncle smeared it on my face. But we don't talk about that. And the reason why I was upset, I would have laughed. But I was upset. And you want to know why? Okay. So, first of all, my mom left. And I went back on the skate rink to do a race. And I never win the race. And then, like, I didn't win, but someone else won. I was like, yay, good job. And then like after that, I just kind of like left the ring while I was skating. At the end, some random boy tripped me on accident, but he tripped me still. And I looked back at him. I was just like, what? I went flying. I looked back at him. I was like, hey. And then him and his little friend snickered. They was like, and they never apologized. They just went off skating. I hate that. And then I wanted to tell my auntie, and I was just like, yeah, some boy tripped me. And she's like, but did he apologize? And I was like, no, he didn't. He just laughed. And she's like, she cut me off. She's like, I think it was just a mistake. And I was like, but he, and he didn't know better. He probably didn't mean it. I'm pretty sure he was sorry. And I was like, let me finish. You're okay. It's fine. Like, you may be a little bit hurt and a little bit bruised, but you're fine. I was like, listen to me. And like, she didn't listen. And then my mom came back, and I was just like, I don't want to skate anymore. I just want to go home. So we went home. Well, actually, no. We went to the park afterwards. And she got me this wand. I really loved it. Because I back then, I loved to make imaginary spells, because, I was very into, like, that magical stuff. And it was just my imagination. But I had to stop because it was kind of like witchcraft or whatever. And, after that, we went to the park. I was playing with my wand. And then I was running really fast towards my mom because I wanted to like show her my wand. And then all of a sudden I tripped on the side, like not on the sidewalk. I tripped on the concrete of the like walking path, and then like she came running to me. She's like, "Are you okay?" And my knees were bleeding and they hurt really bad, and they kept burning and burning and burning. And my knees were just like they were like all the skin that was on them peeled off, like all of it. I'm pretty sure you could see my skin on the sidewalk or whatever it was, on the pavement, whatever you want to call it. And like my mom was just like, "Oh no!" So she went to the car. She tried to get water. She poured it on my knees, and it made it kind of worse. And like then she got like a bandage, a big huge bandage, and put it on my knee, both my knees. I hope. And then I figured out that I broke my wand too. All of this happened on my birthday, on my 9th birthday. And my 10th birthday was kind of better, but it was still lame, and it sucked. Yeah. So, like, my 9th birthday was horrible. It was the worst birthday I've ever had. And I was just so upset. So, when I went home with my cousins, I was just on the bed. I would not get up. I was so upset. I was just crying. And my mom was just like, come on. Why are you so upset? I was just like, Mom, I tripped at the skater ring. I tripped at the skater ring. I fell down at the park. I tripped at the skater ring twice, and this boy snickered. And like, all of this happened on my birthday. It's just like, come on, calm down. And basically, we went to my uncle's house. I don't know if I'm saying this all in chronological order. It happened a year ago, okay? And we went to my uncle's house. He like smeared cake on my face. And honestly, I would have been laughing. I would have been like, yeah, that's so funny. But I was in a bad mood. So I was just like, and I just glared at him. I was just like, He's like, I'm sorry. Or whatever. And we got like some tissue, and I like wiped it off. Because I didn't want to eat cake. And I had birthday money. So my mom was just like, you know what, let's go to Walmart ourselves, okay? We don't have to bring the cousins. And I was like, really? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, thank you. I need to. And like we drive to Walmart. I was really angry. I'm just like, and she's like, how did your birthday go? And I was like, it was the worst birthday I ever had. And then she's like, she calls my auntie. She's like, yeah, Cameron says the worst birthday she ever had. Is everything okay? And Annie's just like, oh no, don't don't say that. Don't say that. That she sounds ungrateful. And she's like, Cameron, don't say that. That's unreasonable. My mom's just like, you hear that, Cameron? I'm just like, so we get to the store, and like I'm walking to the store. We're doing so good, and my mom had to ruin it. She's like, you know what, Cameron, fix your face. She apologized like before about this because she didn't know what was going on. She said she should have stayed, but like honestly though, yeah, and like I was just like, Mom, I tripped twice at the skater rink and someone laughed about it. And the first time it was because the boy was going the wrong way. And then I tripped at the park, scraped both my knees, broke my toy wand. And then you got mad that I was upset. And then my uncle smeared cake on my face. And like she's like, come on, okay. So we go to the store. She uses her money because she doesn't want me to waste my money. W mom, kind of L mom, kind of I don't know, both. But like after that, I just go to sleep. I'm just so distraught, and that's one thing invalidating my feelings. Like I never felt so. I don't know. But yeah, I think we're getting very close to the outro. Thank you so much for watching me yap for an hour. But also thank you for listening. Thank you for caring enough to listen. This is the longest video I've ever done. Rip my storage. Yeah, but yeah. Also for the outro, I wanted to show this picture that I made like months ago. I hope you really like it. It took me a long time to make. And peace out, my little cookies.